Hello and welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith. With spring comes the American Cancer Society's signature fundraising event, the Relay for Life. My guests tonight are Janette Mears and Sue Lamm, co-chairs of the Amherst Relay for Life. Janette, Sue, welcome to Lynchburg Live.
Thank you.
You know, as we're getting started, if you'll, either one of you can just tell our audience what's involved with being a co-chair of an event like this.
Well, Sue, since you've been co-chair before, would you like to?
It's more coordination than anything else. You think you're up there and you are being a leader, but we have a very, very good group that works together. They cooperate. Somebody will always jump in and say, well, I can do that. I can make that phone call. So it's more a matter of coordinating.
And this is your first year.
This is my first year.
How have you found it?
I have found that everyone has been wonderful to work with. And like Sue said, you know, when you ask for help, they jump right in and help you.
I think this is a cause that people really, you know, if they're involved in it, they're involved in it with a lot of feeling and because they really want to help. And all right, so you were co-chair when? Before this?
The 4th and the 5th years that we were in Amherst County.
And this is what year with Amherst County?
10th year, 11th?
10th or 11th.
10th or 11th.
And you're getting your experience this
Yes.
time, all right?
Yes.
Could you tell us where the Amherst Relay is going to be taking place and when?
The Amherst Relay is going to be at the Amherst High School on the back parking lot. It will be May 4th, starting at 7 o'clock and going till 6 the next morning.
That's great. And tell me, why is it an overnight event?
Well, cancer is something that never sleeps. A cancer patient never gets a break.
Right.
So it is something that we feel is very important, that this is a night that I dedicate myself to those who are fighting cancer.
That's great. Now, in putting this together and coordinating it, how often do you have meetings?
Once a month.
Just once a month, okay. I know, Janette, that you have a very personal reason for being involved in the relay.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing with our audience what it is?
I do not. I have had many family members who have passed away with cancer, but the one that was the hardest and closest was my mother. And she had ovarian cancer and fought a hard fight for 5 years. I did get to participate in one relay with her as her caregiver.
That's great. Sue, do you have a similar story, a similar reason?
Yes, very, very similar. My mother was one of 9 children, and 4 of those children died of cancer.
Oh, that's terrible. I mean, it's just, it's such a devastating disease. And I think that people who are touched by it, you know, like I personally am a survivor, it makes you want to get out there and do everything you can to try to keep other people from having to go through this.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
you know, so I do understand that your reason. Now, this is a national event, isn't it, the Relay for Life?
Yes, it is. It's actually an international event.
Oh, is it really? I
Yes.
didn't know that. So, but it doesn't take place in all cities and all places on the same day,
No.
is that right?
That's correct.
Why? Is it not something that happens just internationally at the same time?
Each community gets to choose the date that they would like to have their relay, the best date for their community. Also, we have local staff personnel who work with the American Cancer Society, and they are present at our relays and also at our meetings. And it would be very difficult for them to be at 2 relays at a time. Of course, there are some that are scheduled for the same night, and they do have to bounce back and forth sometimes.
And I imagine there's some people who just want to be at more than one event.
Well, I was just going to say, some people would like to participate in more than one area, so
Yes.
that gives them the chance to do that.
All right, the relay honors people. Who does it honor?
The survivor.
Okay. It also honors the caregivers, is that true?
Caregiver, yes.
I think a lot of people forget about the caregivers, and being a caregiver is a really difficult job.
It is very difficult.
Well,
That is why our first lap at Relay is the survivor lap. The second lap is the caregiver lap.
Yeah, I think that's really, really special because everybody thinks about the patient, they think about the person who's doing the battle, and it really is difficult for spouses and other caregivers.
You also have to remember that from the day that a person is diagnosed with cancer, they are a survivor.
Exactly.
From that point on.
And I think a lot of people don't know that. I think that they start thinking that after you've had your treatment, been through chemo, that's when it starts. But
from the day that you're diagnosed.
Now, who all participates in this besides caregivers and?
Well, we have children's laps.
Great.
And the children can get involved with the relay that way. We open it up to anyone who would like to have a team. We have church teams, different community service organization teams, business teams, family teams, school teams, anyone who would like to be involved.
Right, so and churches, did you say churches? That they are involved too? Okay, you have these teams. So the teams are working within the organization of the Amherst Relay, for instance.
Yes.
How many teams do you have right now signed up for this relay that's coming up?
Right now we are at 25 teams.
That's wonderful. And there's a number of people that you have to have in order to have a team, is that right?
Usually it is good to have at least 10 team members on each team. Because what we ask is that each team keeps someone walking the track all night long, and it's very difficult if you have less than 10.
I'm sure it is.
Yes.
I'm sure it is.
But there are teams that have come in with less and have done beautifully.
Yes.
Now, does Amherst have one fundraising goal, or does each team have a fundraising goal?
If a team would like to set a fundraising goal, that's fine. They can set their goal, whatever they're comfortable with. But the Amherst County Relay does have a fundraising goal for the event.
Good.
And our goal this year is $92,500.
Do you know how much of that you've gotten already?
We are at $14,000.
That's good. I mean, that really is good. And we've got how long now until this relay?
A month.
Just
exactly,
a month.
exactly a month.
Well, people will start really getting out and digging and trying to get donations. You usually come through, don't you, and meet your goal.
We usually do, yes.
Right. Now, the specific teams have names.
Yes, they
Is that
do.
correct? Could you just tell us some of the names, because I think they're so cool.
We have Angels of Hope, excuse me, Emmanuel Crusaders,
Rowdy Relayers.
Rowdy Relayers.
I like the
yes.
Rowdy
I like the
Relayers.
Rowdy Relayers.
Christians
yes.
Walking Against Cancer.
That's good.
There was another new one just signed up that was Angels something, but I don't remember the different school teams have their mascot names. We have
That's fine.
Lancers Against Cancer.
Oh, that's good.
We have Wildcats Walking Against Cancer.
What is Amherst Middle? They're the Cougars.
Cougars Against Cancer. Cougars for a Cure.
I think that's great. And I'm sure that having a name and picking your own name is encouraging, the people to get out there and do their thing. You all have brought some pictures, and Phil, if you'll put the pictures up on the screen, we'll get Janette and Sue to tell us what they are.
This is one of the games that went on at one of the campsites. It was $1 per pie throw, and we had one of the youth volunteer to have pies thrown at him, and the kids had so much fun with that.
So this is at the actual event.
This is at the actual
Okay.
event. This is our survivor lap at the beginning of the relay. This is our children's lap. We do have a time when children ages birth through 11 can come out and they walk a lap. They do their own fundraising.
Great.
And they have a lot of fun. And then we have some activities for the kids after they do their walk.
So you do actually walk for donations, too?
It can be for donations, or it can be for most people just give a donation,
I
but
think that's
there are
great.
a lot of fundraisers going on.
Right.
There's one of our little walkers. Some of our campsites, each campsite is decorated. They go with the theme of the relay that year. This year our theme is Under the Big Top,
Oh, that's cool.
so it'll kind of be a circus theme. Each campsite should have a fundraiser going on. They should decorate to the theme, and they should have something of cancer awareness.
Right.
And that looks like one of the fundraisers. Well, actually, that I believe is Amherst Baptist Church, and they have been very dedicated, coming every year to provide an evening meal for us on Friday evening. The bagpipes. This is part of the luminaria ceremony, and unless you've been there, you just simply can't imagine how haunting that is to hear the bagpipes going around the track.
We'll talk about the luminaria
Some
in a
more,
minute.
some
Yeah.
more of the luminaria. You can see the bags in the front. We do have a torch garden, which are the taller things in the background. Those are the torches that you can purchase in memory or honor of someone. There's the torch garden again.
So the luminaria ceremony actually honors survivors and people who've lost their battle.
Yes. Some more of our luminaria ceremony.
So people purchase the bags and purchase the torches,
Yes.
and then that's raising money
Yes.
for the relay as
They
well.
they have a choice of whether a white bag, a gold bag, or the torch, and
That's
there are
great.
different levels of giving.
And in Amherst, we have a habit of always choosing a rainy day. And we have our backup plan. When it is raining, we do move inside the auxiliary gym at the high school, and we continue walking on through the night. We walk around the track in the gym, and we have activities out in the center. And this is one of the games that the kids are playing in the gym. And again, there's some of our walkers in the middle of the night walking around inside the gym.
I remember my husband walking on one of those rainy relays. And
Yes.
he was walking at 5 o'clock in the morning around the gym.
We try to have activities planned so that there's not downtime.
That's great.
Some people do think that they can lie down and take a brief nap, but we try to keep them going all night long.
This is our stage outside. We do have some sort of entertainment going on. Middle of the night, it has to be quiet music, but early in the evening and then again early in the morning, we'll have bands. The Amarecos from the high school
Great.
usually sing.
So do local merchants and stuff, do they jump on board and make donations of food and prizes and that
Yes,
kind of
they
thing?
can.
Yes, they do. This is our survivor's lap. That is the banner that they carry in front of the survivors as they start their lap. And all of the people who are there line the track and just cheer and whistle as they go around in support.
Actually, I think that's me holding the banner on the right.
I think it is.
Those are great pictures. Tell me, our economy is so terrible. Has it affected the donations that people are giving or affected people's willingness to donate that you can tell?
On a personal level, no, I can't say that it has affected. There may be a small effect corporately, but I really believe that when people are passionate about something, they will find a way.
And this is not just like a charity or a fundraiser for an unknown cause. And
Right.
so many people who are involved in this are people who've been touched by cancer, and I do think that makes a big difference. So I'm glad that's not affecting you all. For those people who are not familiar with the Relay for Life event, could you just sort of tell them what happens from the time it starts until it's over the following morning?
Oh, there's so many things
So
going
much.
on. Well, we start the evening with an opening ceremony. We will always have a cancer survivor speaking at the opening ceremony. Then that is followed by the survivor's lap and then the caregiver's lap. And then the actual walkers get started walking. There's a band playing, so they have music to walk by. We have an MC, Jimmy Lakes. He's great. He's hilarious to listen to. Later on, a little bit later on, the children will do their lap, and then there'll be some entertainment for the children. Then we have the luminaria ceremony, and everything gets very quiet, very respectful, as we light the bags for those that we're honoring and remembering. And after the luminaria, we usually have fireworks, and the kids, of course, enjoy the fireworks. And then we go into entertainment, playing games, as people continue to walk the track all night long. During the night, we're usually drawing numbers, and if there's a walker on the track from that team, then they can come over and receive a prize.
Wonderful.
And
Also keep in mind that we urge every team to have on-site fundraising. Some are raffles, some have food for sale, a variety of different things. A lot of teams will put together gift baskets with a theme. And so a lot of people like to walk the track just to see, what's going on, which team has made their own cookbook, for example.
The thing I thought was so cool last year is people are selling food, homemade baked goods,
Yes.
and I really like to walk around and get brownies and chocolate chip cookies and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. And a lot of plants and
yes.
a whole variety of things. People are very creative when it comes to their on-site fundraising. In fact, we've had one team this year that's asked if they can bring a pony for
great.
photo shots.
Great. The campsites that people set up, do their campsites have names, or do they just set up a campsite and stay all night?
Their campsite is usually named after their team.
Their team, okay.
Or they will come up with a different name that goes with the theme.
Right.
Right, and I wanted to get back to the luminaria ceremony, because I think that is such a special thing. And that is, tell them what the bags and the candles, what that signifies.
We like to say that every candle has a name. And what that means is that every bag, every candle is either lit in memory of someone who has fought and lost, or in honor of someone who is either still fighting or has won the battle.
Right. I just think that it's, it's such a special ceremony, and it's like Janette says, when that starts, everything gets so still, and people are so reverent, and you can have 1,000 people out there and hear a pin drop. And I certainly think that's to the credit of the organizers as well as the people who are there to honor specific people. All right, if somebody wanted to honor someone with a torch or with a bag, how would they go about doing that?
They could, if they know someone who is on a team, all team captains should have been able to pick up the forms from the luminarias at team captain meetings. If they don't know someone who's on a team, they can either go on the website and find out how they can get one, or they can contact the Lynchburg ACS office at 434-845-0973, and they would love to be able to help.
I think that's great. I saw some people there, I guess it was last year, they were selling T-shirts too with the cancer logos on them. And, they have fun T-shirts.
They do.
Somebody had on a T-shirt that said "Cancer sucks," and I think you have to have the ability to laugh in the face of this disease sometime. I mean, you just have to be able to do it. And I was pleased to see that these people were having a sense of humor and out there, like that. Does each team? How do you keep up with the amount of money you're raising? Is there an email type thing that you can do that, make donations?
We have an accountant that works with us, and she collects the money at our meetings, or you can take it to the American Cancer Society office,
Right.
and it will be recorded and then entered into the website. And so you can go to the website, www.relayforlife.org/Amherst, and check where your team stands.
Great, great. And you can donate that way?
Yes, you
All
can.
right.
You can also donate online.
All right, now it's my understanding that the funds that are raised in a specific area pretty much stay in that specific area. Is that the truth?
To a great deal, yes. There are programs that these funds help support, such as Road to Recovery, where those that need rides to their treatments can have a volunteer pick them up,
That's great.
take them into their treatments. Reach to Recovery, which is pairs breast cancer survivors with someone who has already survived it, one-on-one, so that they can talk and talk things out. Man to Man, which is for prostate cancer. Look Good, Feel Better, which is a program with trained cosmetologists. There are support programs. I Can Cope for patient and family services. There's also the American Cancer Society has an 800 number that is 24/7 that people can call and talk to a trained person who can answer questions. If you're up in the middle of the night and you're wondering about your diet or how the medication that you're on is going to affect you, you can call 1-800-ACS-2345 and someone will talk to you.
You know, one of the things you said that I think is so important is to have someone available who is a survivor, who's been down that road, to talk to somebody who is a newly diagnosed, because that first month, everything is just coming at you all at one time, and it's so fast, and you get confused and you don't know. And to be able to turn around and say, I have a resource, there's somebody that will talk to me, I think is the biggest help in the world. So that's a service that is a very special service, I think, that you do that.
Some things that I don't think a lot of people know as much about is that they can sometimes help underinsured or uninsured patients with some medications. They have a dietitian on call. Hope Lodge, for people that have to go to other places, they can stay free in Hope
And
Lodge.
see, that's a wonderful thing right there. You know, one of the things that as being a breast cancer person and going through chemo, and you lose your hair, and the cancer office does have wigs that.
Yes, they do.
And they will give them to you.
Yes.
It's not anything you have to pay for. You just walk in there and say, you know, I am just lost and I need hair, and they will do that for you. And I just think that's wonderful. We've only got about 5 more minutes, maybe a little less. Being involved with the Relay for Life it's a time-consuming and sometimes very intense involvement. But could both of you tell me what this involvement has meant to you personally, how it affects you to be involved like this?
Personally, I know that I am not a medical personnel. I am not a nurse. I do not work in a hospital. I cannot make a diagnosis. I cannot help medically. But I can fundraise and I can walk.
And that's using your talents,
Yes.
you know, to help in an area where you had expertise. What about?
For me, the same. I think the research is so important, and there's so many unanswered questions that we need to support and raise the money to be able to research that.
Right. And it's hard to find a cure for something if you don't know what causes it.
Yes.
And you know, I just think that your dedication and what you all do is such a special thing. And I've enjoyed my involvement with Relay both in Lynchburg and in Amherst. One more time, if you'll tell our audience when the Amherst Relay is and where it is.
The Amherst Relay is on May 4th, starting at 7 o'clock at the Amherst High School in the back parking lot.
Now, we do have a survivor reception that starts before that,
Yes.
and we would urge all survivors to join us for
And
that.
that's one of the things I enjoy year after year, coming to Amherst and being fed. You all have such good food for the survivors. I do admire you for what you do, and I thank you for the time that you give to try to end this disease so nobody else has to hear. Now I'm getting, nobody else has to hear you've got cancer.
Yes.
There is no finish line until we find the cure.
Right. Thank you very much. Have
Thank you.
lots of success with this fundraiser.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show and become involved in your local relay in one way or another. My next show will feature kitchen design. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.